welcome back to the Jackson Neill Sports Podcast. It's been a while, but you can listen in right here on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, and YouTube. Wherever you want to listen in, the podcast is available. With that, let's jump right into it, where recently, I've been seeing comments by Lavar Ball talking about LeBron James. And LeVar saying LeBron, quote-unquote, too weak to beat LeVar one-on-one in his heyday. And just seems like to be a start of what could be LeVar Ball coming back in the media again. Because we've had a nice break without him. He's been overseas with his two other sons, doing a lot with their professional basketball careers over there in Europe. And we haven't really heard much about him. But now, with LeBron coming back to the Lakers and the whole Lake show, all that going on with all the stars over there, of course we knew he was going to come back. And I hate talking about LeVar Ball because I don't like him as a story. It's just this loudmouth dad of a NBA player who makes outrageous claims with very little factual backing or realistic backing behind them. Stuff like, I could have beat MJ one-on-one in my prime, stuff like that. And while I'm always conflicted about his character, on one hand, he really does support his son's basketball career, and there's a lot to be said. He was able to stir up a lot of news to the point where his sons were getting all these professional, these shoe deals and for their own brand and everything, and selling those. Well, on one hand, I respect them for that, but on the other hand, it's kind of like, dude, stop living through your kids. Get your own life. Let your sons be in the spotlight. So I've always had a difficult time with stuff like that. And in terms of LeVar Ball, it's not really me wanting to ever react to what he says, because it's all just outrageous, and he wants to draw up a reaction. But the question I want to pose with LeVar Ball, because this needs to be asked, is how does he fit in to LeBron James joining the Lakers? Because we look at LeBron James recently in his career, and we see that he's made some very telling signs through what he's done, and how he's done them. The biggest being joining the Lakers, and the way he did it. Because we all remember the decision. We all remember when he wrote his letter, "I'm coming home." LeBron has this way of capturing our attention no matter what, that he's always a headline. And it is very easy for him, where if he wanted to make a big deal about him joining the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers, the purple and gold, one of the biggest franchises in NBA history with the all-time lore and all that. If he wanted to make a big deal out of it, LeBron easily could have. Because LeBron James has this kind of star power. And yet, all he chose to do was send out a tweet from his not even from his own personal account with tens of millions of followers. It was from his agency's account, saying LeBron James has agreed to sign a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. And I think LeBron James, since then, or right after then, left the country, went out on a vacation with his family. So just a very low-key, a very not a huge ordeal process. And we're starting to see that even though LeBron picked the Lakers, he's not looking necessarily for the spotlight. He's going to be in the spotlight no matter what. So any extra added attention, it seems like he does not want at this point in his career. He just wants an awesome place to win. Going to Los Angeles provides him, an opportunity to better his legacy. Because if he can get out of the West for 1 year there, then it might throw away that whole argument. Oh, he only got out of the Eastern Conference. There's a lot of implications of LeBron going to Los Angeles. But one of the biggest things I'm wondering with is, now that LeVar Ball, now we're see him making comments, is how does he factor into all of this? Because he brings his media circuits unto its own with Lonzo and all of that. And while Lonzo certainly has had the play on the court to back up a lot of the talking, maybe not all of it, claiming he's the best player in the NBA or whatever LeVar says, I can't even keep track. I don't really feel like taking the time to. He brings a lot of extra attention. And LeBron going to LA, LeBron just being LeBron James, and the Lakers just being the Los Angeles Lakers, that's a ton of attention right there. And all the extra one LeVar brings, I can't imagine LeBron James wanting that. I can't imagine the Lakers franchise wanting that. And what it keeps coming back to is, how does LeVar Ball play into the future of this Lakers team, because there's a couple routes this can go down which could change the roster in some ways dramatically. The Lakers could decide that this is just enough and get rid of Lavar, and which would mean getting rid of Lonzo, and just getting rid of it all and hoping that, having that be its end. The sad part is that might only be the beginning, because now that Lonzo is not on the Lakers, LeVar is going to continually call out Los Angeles and just maybe bring more media to the team. And that's where I think it has to come in, where how much power do the Lakers really have in this? Because LeVar has taken his standing as just, the father of an NBA lottery pick. There's not that many NBA lottery picks, but there's enough each year, and each one of those has lottery picks as parents, so you figure there's a dozen or so each and every year. It's a pretty cool position on average basis, but in the NBA world, not that cool. It's a dozen more each and every season. He's taken that and got himself so much power. Because if he continues to talk out, yes, the Lakers can tell him to be quiet, that could hurt Lonzo, but we all know that the Lakers just can't bench Lonzo just because of his dad. That won't fly over in the NBA. Okay, they can threaten to trade Lonzo. Well, then that's going to free up Lavar Ball to talk more and more smack about the Lakers and just bring more and more of a media attention to Los Angeles, wondering, will Los Angeles respond to his claims? So it's going to be interesting to see how LeVar reacts to all of this. And I hate even talking about it, but it just needs to be brought up, because LeBron is such a big headline just by himself. And the Los Angeles Lakers are always the biggest show in town. I don't care how good the Clippers are doing. It's the Lakers' town. Even with the Golden State Warriors being arguably the best roster of all time, the Lakers are probably the biggest steel team out of California. They still own that state, that city, that area in a way that just, it's unimaginable. So now as we get to this point, I just want to see how LeVar continues to talk out. Because that's not what LeBron wants. That's not what Magic and the rest of the Lakers organization wants. And I just don't know how much power necessarily they have, because even if they traded Lonzo away, I don't know if that ends it. So I can't wait. I'm really intrigued to see how this all plays out between the Lakers and LeVar. With that'll wrap it up for this edition of the Jackson Neill Sports Podcast. Remember, you can check out this podcast as well as the Jackson Neill Music Podcast. They're published, I guess, on alternating days or so. From now on, that's how I'm going to do it, on alternating days. So not published at the same exact time anymore, more on alternating days. I'm aiming for about 2 or 3 a week of each. So check back here on alternating days on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, or YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast feed you like the most, or maybe a couple of them if you like to get in different platforms. Also, check out the Anything Goes with Jackson Neill podcast. That's from the radio show on 107.9 FM, where I interview musicians. A lot of great interviews that I've had recently. Awesome ones coming up. Always check out my social medias, at JacksonNeill20 on Instagram and Twitter, to find out the latest off to who I'm talking to, snippets of interviews, and all that great stuff. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you all next time.